while Americans and the American press is asleep behind the wheel, we have scientists that have given up on the idea of convincing people that we need to scale back and change our behavior to prevent climate change from accelerating. Some scientists are now trying to find ways to help mitigate the impact of climate change when it gets really, really bad. And one of those is a Bay Area scientist by the name of Armand Nuckermans, and he is working in something known as cloud brightening. And the whole point of cloud brightening is to reflect the sun's light and heat so the planet doesn't get too hot. So it's supposed to mitigate the impact of climate change.
All right, the reason I didn't help you out with the name is because I have no idea.
I think it's Nuckermans.
Nuckermans.
Yeah.
Is he Belgian? I think that's where he's originally from. Okay, so as I was reading the article, I'm thinking, really? We're going to brighten the clouds and that's going to reflect the heat back out or something? I'm like, come on. Maybe your tinfoil hat can reflect it back out. Turns out this guy's actually kind of a genius. Yeah. And not only does he have all these patents, and you can get patents for nothing, right? But his technology has been so good that, what did he get, over $3 billion?
Well, he sold his company for $3.25 billion. And basically, he was a pioneer of some sort of technology in the telecommunications field. So he is an incredibly intelligent individual. And I don't want to misrepresent what he's trying to do. He does agree that we need to cut fossil fuel emissions significantly. He hasn't necessarily given up on that. But he's saying that since we aren't really changing our behavior, it's time to take the next step and do whatever we can to mitigate the impact of climate change.
And he's brought in some of the other incredible minds in the field on this. Between them, they have some insane number of patents, like over 300 or something. So
yes, and they're all in their 60s and 70s. They're all geniuses, and they like to refer to themselves as the silver linings.
That's clever.
I love it.
There's a silver lining in that cloud. Oh, yes. It's genius. Wait a minute, they are geniuses.
Yeah.
All right, so now, like, they all agree climate change is happening. They all agree that we need to take action immediately, and they don't want this to be in place of taking action. But as Nuckermans says, he said, look, man, you know, he's made his money already. He's putting his own money into this project.
Yep.
He's like, I got kids, I got grandkids, and I want to leave something behind. And if it gets really bad, because the top minds in the field believe it's going to get really, really bad, they're like, well, we got to come up with something to try to, you know, make it better. Now, look, they understand this is also dangerous, because once you put the clouds up there, I know it sounds crazy, right? Yeah. But you apparently can create clouds, and you can brighten them. And they haven't perfected it by a long shot yet.
So let me add a few things about that. So this type of geoengineering, of course, needs to go through certain studies and trials to see whether or not scientists could have like a mass impact like that. But of course, even within this field of work, there's a lot of opposition to doing this because of the fact that it could severely change weather patterns, and it could do so in a negative way. It could have a negative impact on the ecosystem. So a lot of scientists feel that with this type of geoengineering, you're playing with fire, and maybe the costs will outweigh the benefits.
Right, and the silver lining guys understand that. They think, look, you got to be super careful, because you might accidentally create too much moisture or too little moisture in different parts of the world. And what if it helps the world overall, but it creates massive flooding or massive droughts in some parts of the world? Then how are you going to react to that? So understand, this is like in case of massive planetary emergency, break glass, and they haven't finished it yet. And so, but at least somebody's trying, and at least they understand the severity of the problem.
I know, I know it's a strange way to look at it, but as I was reading this story, part of me felt like, oh, at least we have some smart people that are working to, you know, lessen the impact of climate change, because it's coming. We're not doing anything to change it, okay?
And by the way, that's why they're taking action. They realized, oh my God, the government's never going to do anything.
Exactly.
And so we got to do something. And look, to give you a sense of how far they are from perfecting this, right now, in order to make it work, they'd have to send up hundreds, maybe thousands of ships into the sky to create the really bright clouds, which, by the way, then would burn other energy, which would then maybe perhaps lead to more climate change.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things to work out here before we get to super bright clouds.